Balestreri, and I am one of the artists featured in the Resistors exhibition at the Workhouse Arts Center. And due to all of the closings and everything going on in the world today, we were asked to send a video kind of introducing ourselves as artists and talking to you a little bit about who we are and why we make the work that we work, and maybe a little bit about the work that we have in the show. So, like everybody in the world right now, I am stuck at home in my home studio, which is what's around me right now, or at least a snippet of it, and I'm recording for you. So, a little introduction to me. I am the Director of Visual Arts Education at the Workhouse Arts Center, and I've been there since we opened our doors in 2008, so 12 years now that I've been employed there. And I am also an adjunct professor of art at the University of Mary Washington, and I am also an alum from Mary Washington myself. It's where I earned my Bachelor's of Art in Studio Art and my teaching certification to teach public school. After that, I went to the University of the Arts in Philadelphia to earn my MFA in ceramic sculpture. And that was back in 2003-ish timeframe. And soon after I graduated, I learned about the Workhouse opening as a brand new facility and got in from the ground floor. And I've been there ever since. So it's been a real kind of curve up and down, and I think most artists' lives are like that, so I'm perfectly fine with it. So that's a little bit about me. A little background about my work, my style, and all of that. I definitely say that my work has evolved quite a bit over the years, and I have found certain artists that no matter what I do or who I look at, I always kind of refer back to these particular artists for influence. Even though I'm very much a ceramic sculptor, I prefer to work three-dimensionally. I enjoy painting and drawing. Some of my drawings behind me. And one of the most influential painters for me has always been Francis Bacon. Very haunting color palettes. Just beautiful textures, and just been in love with Bacon's work ever since I, discovered his work as undergrad student. So he's been something that's most recently I've looked at some portraits and some figurative work of his, and then that's really played a very big influence on some of the color palettes that I've been using lately. Obviously, I've loved a lot of work of a lot of sculptors like Crystal Bolger, Beth Kavner, of course. Who doesn't love Beth Kavner's work, right? Louise Bourgeois, which I can never say right because I can't speak French, but little French sculptor who I absolutely adore her work. A lot of figurative work, but all of those people have influence on me. Their emotive qualities, their color palettes, their sculptural techniques. I fell in love with it really early, and it's kind of always influenced me and the work that I do. I've been creating in clay for probably 14 plus years, which isn't a super long time if you really think about it. But mostly creating sculptures. I've only recently kind of fallen into loving functional pottery and have started a new brand that I have deemed Corgi Clay. Functional pottery. Had my first couple commissions and got a website, so I'm enjoying doing that, and I enjoy making things that people can use in daily conversation, just having a cup of coffee or eating off of one of my plates. I love all of that. But my true love is really sculptural work. It always has been, and probably always will be. It's a different feeling I get when I make things sculpturally. I've explored all kinds of various themes over the years, but one of the things that I just keep going back to and returning to is my kind of fascination and fear and all of that involving the human body and the human form. When I first enrolled as a student at UMW, I was not an arts major. I enrolled as a biology major, I was really interested in anatomy and really saw a career for myself maybe in dealing with illustration and anatomy, or something like that. I mean, this was before like Photoshop was a thing and the internet was really big. So this, even though it doesn't feel like that long ago, it felt like years ago for maybe. But so I enrolled in a lot of biology courses, and I took arts courses. I always took arts courses. I was always interested in the arts ever since I was a little girl. But it was having those arts experiences at UMW that switched my gears, and had me refocus. And it didn't mean that I ditched my love of anatomy and my love of biology and everything that makes us the matter that we are. I think if anything, I got even more interested because I was learning to manipulate material to create likenesses of things that I love. Weird things like the folds of a skin in between a knuckle. I don't know. The crease of a neck, or like the weird curve of a lip when somebody makes a face. All of those little minutiae that make us human and show emotion and fear and disgust, and all of that's really interesting to me. How we interact with each other, and how our words, but also how our mannerisms can relay messages. So a lot of my work sculpturally to date has been dealing with that. It's been dealing with the idea of a portrait and capturing that moment when somebody gets confused or excited or aroused, or dealing with those paused moments and focusing on those little parts of the body that make us human. The gesture of a hand, the dip of a toe, the crease of a shoulder. There's something very sensual about all of that, but also it's easy to relate to. We're all human. We're all understanding each other, or trying to. And I think that's why I'm so interested, and I keep going back to playing with those forms. I think it's very familiar, and I think it's easy for people to connect with. Not that that's the most important thing to me, but I think what's important for me, at least when I look at a work, is that I want to be moved by it. I want to be somehow intrigued, whether it's through excitement or disgust. I don't care. It's just I need to be captured by it. And the work that I'm trying to make is work that does that for others, I guess you could say, easily enough. It's all about connection. It's a common theme in my work. It's being connected to each other as humans, being connected to the ground. I mean, the media that I work in is clay, it's mud, it's earth. It's something that we regurgitate into something else, but it came from the ground that we walk on. So it's all about that connection, and having a better understanding of who we are, ourselves, how we relate to each other. And I know that's real deep. These are the things that go through artists' heads. But so that's kind of the gist of me, why I make the work I make. And if you get a chance to see some of the work at the Resistors exhibition, you'll see what I'm talking about. There's a series that I did of a close-up on mouths and lips. And then there's another piece there. It's just a kind of a focus on some leg forms as well, with a very muted color palette on purpose. I encourage everybody to go visit the exhibit when you can, or virtually at the workhousearts.org website. And obviously, if you have any questions for me, please feel free to send me a message. You can find a lot more information about me on my website at www.debrabalestreri-corgiclay.com. I know it's a long one. And I look forward to hopefully meeting some of you. And otherwise, thanks for watching.